What's up, guys? I'm back with another movie review. This is another one from Warner Archive. This is a made-for-TV movie from the 70s, and it's called Cry Rape. This is one of the first times TV really dealt with the idea of rape in like at all, let alone in like a serious fashion. Um, it's about a woman who comes home from work and she gets attacked by a guy in her apartment, and he rapes her and robs her. And we get a look at the guy. She obviously gets a look at the guy. We're in there. If you're worried about like the actual act, like being overly traumatic to see it, we know that it happens, but we don't actually see it. The camera pans around to like different things in the apartment, so you don't actually see the act happen, even in like non-graphic form. But anyway, she goes to the police, and she wants justice, and that basically the police just don't believe her. They're like, well, are you sure you know what rape is? Do you know what sex is? And it's just really sad. And unfortunately, I don't think really times have changed that much in that regard. But she's facing all this opposition until she says that the guy had like a super raspy voice. And when that happens, wheels turn in the policeman's head, and they realize that this is the next case in a series of rapes that have happened. And then they believe her, which of course makes her mad too, because she's like, oh, 5 minutes ago, I was a liar, and now all of a sudden you believe me. She decides she's gonna take him to court. It turns out that there's another rape that happens after hers, and from that they're able to kind of really pinpoint down that the guy was a delivery driver. They find a delivery driver that looks exactly like it. They bring him in. Most of the women ID him, some of them don't, but most of them do. He goes to court. It's pretty much a slam dunk, except for the fact that he hires this crazy, sleazy lawyer who gets her up on the stand and just berates her and just drags her through the mud and makes her relive all these details, questions everything about her sexuality, makes it seem like walking past an open window, while changing clothes is some gigantic, criminal act. It's really gross and really sad. Some of the other ladies who were victims see that they don't want to go through that, so they withdraw their cases, and it's kind of up to her. Like, she's got to bear the brunt of everything if she wants justice, and she does, and so she pushes forward. And the rest of the movie is her trying to get to try to get justice for this, not just for herself, but because she doesn't want anybody else to suffer the same fate. This is a pretty well made movie. It has a very serious tone. Obviously, it doesn't take a melodramatic angle like I think a movie like this would now. Um, the performances are really good. It's got Andrea Markovici, who's in a lot of cold and horror movies later on. This was I think her first like lead in a movie, not just a TV show. She's really good. It's got a colorful group of people. It's got one of the cops from Sanford and Son is in this. It's a solid movie. I think it deals with the topic pretty well. It deals with things from a victim's perspective and the fact that nobody believes her. And it's interesting that we see the guy in the apartment, and even we, like at least me, I had a hard time 100% saying that was the guy who did it, because I don't know, just the faults of memory or whatever. So it's very easy to empathize with her and the stresses and the pressures of her situation, because how is she supposed to ID her when we were there too, and like I couldn't even 100% ID the guy. Um, it's really interesting, and it also takes a look at things from the side of the person who's accused, and we kind of watch his life fall apart as even his own mother doesn't believe him. He gets fired from his job. It definitely humanizes him, and again, we don't know for sure that this is the guy. So there's always everything's are always up in the air. Where the movie kind of loses it from a serious perspective is the ending. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's like a Scooby-Doo type of an ending, which to me it's it has great camp value, but unfortunately the subject matter is really serious, and so it kind of is odd to go in this weird direction at the end. But it is what it is. It's overall a really good movie that tackles a very touchy subject that a lot of people don't even want to talk about or deal with at all. So it's nice to have some light shined on it and at least some attention given toward a topic that again most people are uncomfortable even talking about. You can't even say the word rape. This video will get demonetized because of the fact that I said the word rape. The DVD is from Warner Archive, and it is in widescreen. It looks really good, no extras, but it's got a really solid transfer. As far as recommending this movie, it's obviously going to be very hard to watch for a lot of people, even though it's not graphic and it's depictions of sexual assault. But just it takes an emotional toll on you because of the things that she has to go through, and it's just really sad. And then again, it's even sadder now, decades later, that we're not really that much, more progressive in dealing with it. So if you're interested in it, I definitely recommend giving it a look. It is well made until it gets to the end, and then just kind of the wheels fall off. But I tried to be as tasteful as I could in this review. This is not an exploitation movie. It's a drama that tries to have some social relevance, and I think for the most part it succeeds. It's very reasonably priced from Warner Archive. You can get it at Amazon or wherever. If you like this review, check out my website, markfusion.com. I've got horror, cult, exploitation. I love made-for-TV movies, so there's a lot of those on there as well. You can follow me on Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram, and that's it. If you like the video, please do sub to the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching these, and if this one was a little too serious for you, there's tons of other wacky stuff on here, so check out those reviews in my movie review playlist. That's Cry Rape. It's from Warner Archive. Definitely recommended. Thanks for watching. And Miko was my special guest for this review, even though he didn't watch the movie, so I feel like you're kind of a fraud. You know that? You're a fraud. All right, thanks, guys. I'll see you later.